welcome to Mayhem Rockstar Magazine radio podcast show, Season 1, Episode 1, live on Twitch. Today is February 3rd, 2025, and we will be interviewing the band TurboWitch from London, United Kingdom. We want to give a shout out to our wonderful supporters, Phil's Picks, Badass Radio Network, Tag Publicity, Asteria Entertainment, O'Donnell Media. Hello, Mark from TurboWitch. How's it going this Monday evening?
Why, it's been good so far. Can't complain.
Can you introduce yourself and TurboWitch?
Yeah, okay. TurboWitch. Started in London a couple of years ago. I just finished music college and I try to make next steps. And people ask me what's the idea behind a band, and it's just what's just the next step to be made because since I picked the guitar, since I was young, for me there was like this great thing you couldn't put into words. I want to do that. It's like a self-expression, like this great just things. Like I have no words for this inexplicable calling. And around that time, it just happened that I just dared making next steps. And so one thing led to the other. And TurboWitch, it began like a small band playing a couple of pops. But then it very quickly I had to adjust things. So in the end, it very quickly turned out to be a kind of platform where musicians come together and we make some great music. And so not just musicians from London, but like in touch with musicians from Germany, even musicians from Japan, where we get together and try to produce great music.
What inspired the name of TurboWitch?
Oh yeah, that's the thing. Well, basically, so, number one, I totally suck at finding nice names. Like since I remember like I was I don't know age 13, 14, I had a little notebook, yeah, try to find a perfect band name, yeah, with like 5,000 ideas, one just more awful than the other. You know what I mean? I totally same like song titles. I can write lyrics, yeah, but find a nice song title, I just have no talent for that. And over the years, I just gave up on it. And then that moment where I made next steps and now I need a band name, need a band name. Oh my God, the same old malarkey. And I was listening to a lot of Motorhead at the time. And let me kill him as he always said, like the perfect band name must have three syllables. Aerosmith, Motorhead. I quite like that. I quite like that. And I love contrasts. Like a good example, Velvet Revolver. Like the soft and the harsh thing. I was playing around with that, and I was looking at my music styles. Like melodious metal, progressive rock is great, but I also like blues and goth, and often have a bit of occult touch to this. I feel like something witchy. Like a friend asked me, "What is music?" And I said like spontaneously, after 5 pints, music is kind of witchcraft, kind of magic. And I got to think, okay, that was the thing. The band name should have something with magic. Wizard sounds too dry. Let's other magical things, Merlin or Wizard or sort of Wizardly or Dragon Force. Oh, that's taken, okay. Something, oh, witch is cool. Something with witch. Another contrast. And it was the only time in my life I actually ever had a good idea of band names. Turbo Witch. Because witch had one syllable and even another two syllables. We're playing around. Progressive witch, oh, that sounds awful. And Turbo Witch, it just came.
Who are some of your biggest musical influences?
Yeah, biggest influences. It's a long journey. To cut it short, I would always have a kind of like blues rock, classic rock. That's what I started with. Because my fixed guitar teacher was like, I was trained on blues first, That always has a special place in my heart. And then grunge. And with grunge music, over the years, I started to appreciate Alice in Chains more and more, like Joey Cantrell. Definitely over the years, more and more and more. That's a great influence. Slash Guns N' Roses. When I was younger, definitely learned so much from him. What we got like 80s rock, melodic rock, grunge a lot, and there's a bit of classical music, like when I learned about harmony theory, like about chord leadings and melodies. I love melodies, like a tiny bit of Mozart, when he's playing around the melodies. And these important sound-wise, early Black Sabbath. That's just kind of, and so many more. But like these, you can always kind of hear.
What is your songwriting process like?
Songwriting process. It's don't tame the wild. Music it's about emotions. Yeah, you got a feeling, you got an idea, whatever it is, and don't tame it. I fiddle around, I play around with something. I suddenly got an idea, and I jam on it. Because I was, first steps in music of blues, you're always attending like a jam night, a couple of people on stage, just try to make something. When I was playing the bands, we had the rehearsals, a warm up, always jam, jam, jam. So I got an idea that's coming out of nowhere. I have no idea what it is, but it feels good, and I just jam on it. Once I reach critical mass, where it's like, okay, a melody, a couple of chords, I got something solid now. Then I apply what I learned about composition and voice leading and all these things. But the initial spark is always like something suddenly happens, it's unplanned, and I just jam on it. So it doesn't lose its initial wild, mysterious something, because with music you can start overthinking things, and it's turning sterile. I don't want that.
What has been the most rewarding part of being in TurboWitch?
I've never given up. We have never given up. Whenever I was about giving up, suddenly I met great people I'm still in touch with, which totally inspired me. When I'm looking back now, of a couple of years, you got to five, six, seven people when in touch with and think, oh my God, they make music with me. I appreciate it so, so, so much. Producers, bassists, vocalists. That is something that's always been absolutely rewarding. Plus, 18 months ago, we were on a tour in Japan. I think, oh my God, you managed to make it to the opposite side of a planet. You know what I mean? 11 hours on plane. That was great. That was great, and that was a very inspiring experience. And obviously, with the new songwriting processes and the new producer and the studio we're working with, Alchemy we've just published. That's sort of, I could say, we have never been as far as now. Now that feels great. It's like it feels like a door opening, and that is very much rewarding.
Oh, yes, it is. Wow, that was incredible.
I could see your body language when you started. I could exactly know what it's
That was really
the B
good.
section.
Yeah, that was really good. Yeah, that was really
Thank you.
good.
Thank
I
you.
love it.
Your body language, I could tell exactly what part you were listening to. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
You're so welcome. Thank you, Mayhemers, for watching the YouTube video Only Lonely Lovers Die by TurboWitch. Let's jump back into the interview with Mark of TurboWitch. Can you tell us about your latest single or album?
Yeah, Alchemy, which dropped 27th of January, like a week ago. Alchemy EP, 6 tracks. Initially, we thought 4 tracks, turned out to be 6 tracks because then, after the tour in Japan, we received such a great positive feedback from several people about the other 2 tracks. We thought, like, let's take them on board anyway. And those 6 tracks were some of them younger, some of them a bit older. The idea was, when you look back the last couple of years, they were a bit tricky but challenging, especially like for musicians, like the pandemic, the lockdowns, and other things. People come, people go, and obviously there's so much confusion and pain and frustration and all of that. And you turn it into music, which is kind of like you're transforming it, like the song you're listening to. Okay, you enjoy yourself. It's lovely. It's nice. Or like another song, Don't, about false friends backstabbing you, these things. Okay, it's a horrible topic, but you listen to that song and you go like, yeah, it sounds nice. Or maybe even you're in a situation and that song kind of it resonates with you. It makes you feel good. That's the thing. You turn pain and darkness and frustration into something enjoyable. And that's kind of transformation. It's like this old wizard in his little studio laboratory trying to turn some ordinary dirt and lead and other toxic chemicals into gold. That was kind of transforming it because when you got these situations, you got to change. You got to go with the change. You have to face it. And afterwards, you're like, oh my God, thanks goodness I faced that. I'm a different person now. It's easier said than done. It's a painful process, but that's just kind of what's the idea to process the past years. And yeah, that's for what alchemy. Plus it's a witchy title. Alchemy, 3 syllables, would have been a nice band title.
So let's talk a little bit about the COVID pandemic because it's different from US and how UK was. US was really rough. How was the UK compared to how the US was facing it?
Very, very chaotic. Opening up, locking down, opening up, locking down. Do you go for like a strict lockdown for 3 months, be over it, or will you try, or this doesn't work, or does it, or no? Absolutely chaotic. People couldn't plan ahead. And it was obvious that a lot of decision makers were totally clueless. I'm okay, it's like an unprecedented situation. But in the end, they just decided that we open up, and in comparison to the rest of Europe, they just lifted all the restrictions very, very early, and you just live with it. And a lot of people got hit hard by it. It was chaotic, was poorly organized, was ghastly,
Oh yeah,
was not fun at all,
yeah.
was not fun at all. So first you go for strict lockdown, trying to regain control over that, and then you give up and you just lift all the restrictions. We think like, what was the point?
Exactly.
And that's just a tip of the iceberg. Spare graphic details. It was a shambles, absolutely shambolic.
Oh yeah, the lockdown was not fun here because I think it was, if I remember right, I think it was like close to almost a year before we got back to normal.
Yeah.
It was
And there
crazy.
was yeah, and there was the thing is that's with alchemy. Like I know a couple of musicians. You've just been in touch with great people, and you're planning to make next steps. And then you got door shut in front of your face. And when the door opens again, you just have to see what's actually left. How many musicians have given up, moved place? I'm no longer touring. I'm staying at home. All these things. So many things you had to start again from square one. Or you're together with musicians, you're working together very, very closely. Before the pandemic, there were those proactive, I'm gonna rule the world people. And after the pandemic, because they were locked down and basically they had to yeah, they had to start from scratch again. And you see like they were still emotionally processing that. They turned to quiet, depressed, frustrated people who were like a shadow of the former selves. And that was really sad.
Oh yeah,
So you to change your line up again. You have to carefully test out who is still out there. and people have changed, which I appreciate. You know what I mean? I totally accept that, and life changes you. But you saw like you witnessed live firsthand people you care about, people you know very well, how their character got changed after 2 years of chaos, and that was sad. You know, there was another thing that went into alchemy.
Have you had any memorable performances or milestones that stand out in your career so far?
The two in Japan, definitely. There was I made it to Japan. I survived. We got all gigs organized, like pulling it to most of it we had organized ourselves, and it all worked out. Like literally doors opening, like I can do this, we can do this. Found new friends and musicians in Japan too. I can return anytime. I got a backline there and these things. That's fantastic. This record now, the first time where Alchemy, yeah, first time where I say like in the middle of a recording process, I thought like I am where I wanted to be. And the other musicians who contributed, the TurboWitch coven, right, were the same, well, like technique, playing technique, and communications. Where I thought like we are a bunch of musicians, and right now we are where we're supposed to be. And the new producer I found, and John from Rosenberg Productions, Rosenberg Studios, and I was like, this is what I always wanted to have. I can so like I can return to this. We're gonna next song's coming up, you know. We're planning next EP where I can say like here I got what I always wanted to have. Playing wise, sound wise, recording wise, people wise, you know.
Are there any collaborations you've done or wish to do in the future?
Collaborations in the past, not so much. In the future, well, I'm dreaming now, okay? You see, like I just been where's the thing? Where's it? Here, yeah, yeah. 3 weeks ago, I went on a gig. Can't see it so well. Sign it. His name is Bernd. He's moving to America. He's Austrian, and during the lockdown, he started teaching. He offered those guitar courses online. Fantastic guitar teacher. I totally love him. Inspired me. And then he went a couple of weeks. They started a tour where for 2 years basically was just operating online, and he was in touch with other online musicians. Like if you go on YouTube, like famous ones, you know. There's like those famous bass players that can just boom 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 playing everything, you know. And people say, "Man, band, can you jam with him?" You know. And one thing led to the other. And then they actually met up in real life and started a tour. It's like those absurdly fantastic musicians you've been following on YouTube for 3 years. And suddenly you see them on stage in front of you, you know. I would love to do something like that, you know.
Oh yeah, that sounds like so
Definitely,
much
definitely, definitely.
fun.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I mean, a couple of names out there, you know.
Oh yeah. What are some challenges you've faced as an up and coming band and how have you overcome them?
A big challenge I noticed, a big challenge was my first training was old school, yeah. And old school, I don't mean that you copy Aerosmith for the rest of your life. Old school, I mean like you live in a city. You get a couple of people coming together. You're a rock band, so automatically got a singer, two guitars, bass, drums, this, and that, you know. And you got to rehearse. And basically you're a big family. And you're going to stick together for the rest of your life. Like how, I don't know, like Rolling Stones or ZZ Top, you know. And a big challenge nowadays is that everyone has a job, and everyone has a life to lead, and so many commitments flying around. And it's hard to get people together. I found it hard getting people together that would stick, or when you got challenging moments, people that stick together, you know. And I understood at the beginning I was frustrated about that. But I understood this is our generation, and people play in several bands, you know, and the other band at the moment is a bit more successful, so he's focusing more on this, or actually doesn't want to go on tour or whatever it is. The old band structure, that old dream, it just didn't seem to work. Every 9 months, the drummer called it a day, and then you spend another 3 months finding a new drummer, and but uh, with that old method. I would still be in the same loop like I was, I don't know, 5 years ago. So finding people who say, okay, when we're needed, we come together, which takes a different approach to songwriting, to communicating, to staying in touch, basically internet. You know these people personally, but it's about staying in touch and collaborating when needed. But you don't have this like weekly every Friday afternoon and the same smelly rehearsal room, da da da. That's kind of history. That's kind of it's and that was a big challenge, especially people moving place. I was singing and she moved to Japan, which is why we had some connections in Japan. But in staying in touch with her, and you have to organize a bit like, oh, she is in Europe for 3 weeks. We make use of that. And basically that was a training. She was in LA, she happened to be in LA at the time. And then we're still staying in touch, and she went back to London for 3 weeks, and we organizing that, and we're doing songwriting, these things. It's a completely different approach to what you read about the classic bands.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And that's something I had to adapt to, and that's when I learned I had to let go and then embrace changes. Which is great because nowadays, and now I got a drum in Japan, I got a producer living in Germany, and all of that. You know what I mean? It's a kind of freedom.
Oh yeah, it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What advice would you give to other aspiring musicians who are just starting out?
Play, jam, make mistakes. If it's a first guitar, what Dave Grohl says, don't save up for 2 years going for an expensive guitar. It's a very first guitar. Get the cheap one for 200 bucks. Play, get it scratched, make mistakes, make some noise, getting experience, real life experience. It's jam night, just check it out. Jam night, they're doing some classic rock, it's not your kind of music at all, or they're doing some reggae or whatever it is. Just try, just don't be snobbish, don't be elitist. It's jam, play, meet up people, network, and you hate punk, and there's a cool bass player, and he's a punk, but still, man, give it a go, give it a go. You never know. Play, and praise people. Stay in touch. Make some noise.
What are your goals for TurboWitch in the next year and 5 years from now?
All right, so with Alchemy, after the lockdown, the pandemic, and basically clearing up all the wreckage, that was left afterwards, or the personal changes. Alchemy is a kind of comeback. Alchemy, now we reach the point where we say like this is good, this is sustainable. We can repeat that. We got so many ideas. So definitely following up on Alchemy. We got 4 new tracks we're polishing up at the moment, hitting the studio in the next couple of months. So there's more to come. Also in terms of social media, we're so like, okay, we're making next steps, and we're building up momentum, following up on that, definitely. That is the next year. Planning tours, see like time-wise and organizational-wise where it's going to be, but definitely will be some touring later this year. And that's the next year. Building momentum. In 5 years' time, I'm dreaming because that's magic. Never forget, there's another thing, aspiring musician. You're age 12, you pick up a guitar, you have dreams. Write them down. Life is beating you up, and then you dig out your notes. Ah, that was my dream at the age of 12. Follow it up. So I'm dreaming now of 5 years' time. Being able, I can say, we got so much support on social media that I can say some cool people I admire on YouTube. And actually, I can send them a mail, and actually they respond to that mail. Let's do a song together. Oh yes, let's do that. That would be an absolute dream in 5 years' time. And also can say like obviously also kind of sales and money wise, you could see like you can afford touring, like touring pays for itself, that's sustainable. That would be a bonus.
Where can new fans find TurboWitch on social media?
well, kind of industrial standard these days, you know. Touring alone can be tedious, kind of ineffective. Social media alone, there's something missing. So we try to have a balance of that. So people can meet up in person. Actually, they can see us live. But obviously, in the meantime, I mean, with social media, the reach is different. You know what I mean? It's I send somebody from Brazil or from South Africa can buy the CD. We can stay in touch, and that's a thing. Definitely we're trying to make more out of social media appeal with content. These things, basically, not trying to be more attractive we ourselves, but trying that people who like this kind of music make it easier for them to find us.
And you're on Facebook,
Yeah.
Instagram.
Basically, all you're using the most at the moment is Insta and TikTok. Facebook, classic one, yeah. We got a website. We polished that up and running. Special thanks to Leon Listener. You've done an amazing job. I wouldn't be able to do that. YouTube, website, TikTok, Insta, Facebook, the classic ones. And we had a Twitter account. It turned to X, and things fell apart. I'm curious about checking out Blue Sky. I haven't had the time for that yet. So the classic ones: TikTok, Insta, website, YouTube, Facebook.
Thank you, Mark with TurboWitch, for taking the time to chat with host Kyle Williams of Mayhem Rockstar Magazine podcast show live on Twitch. Season 1, Episode 1 of Mayhem Rockstar Magazine radio podcast show live on Twitch. All episodes will be posted at mayhemrockstarmagazine.us/Mayhem Rockstar Magazine Radio. Facebook at Mayhem Rockstar Magazine. Instagram at Mayhem Rockstar Magazine 1. Twitch, Mayhem Rockstar Magazine TV. Search for Mayhem Rockstar Magazine Radio on Spotify for all the latest streamed live podcast episodes and much more podcasts that are being posted constantly. Check out mayhemrockstarmagazine.us for latest music news, latest concert and festival photos, show reviews, featured music coverage, music reviews, upcoming tour announcements, lifestyle post LGBTQ news, interviews, movie and TV reviews, and news. Thanks to our wonderful supporters, Phil's Picks, Badass Radio Network, Tag Publicity, Asteria Entertainment, O'Donnell Media, for supporting Mayhem Rockstar Magazine Radio. Check out this Thursday, February 5th, 2025 at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Season 1, Episode 2 of Mayhem Rockstar Magazine Radio podcast show live on Twitch with the Vindies before the show coming up this weekend. Thanks, Mayhemers, for watching Season 1, Episode 1 of Mayhem Rockstar Magazine Radio podcast show live on Twitch, hosted by Kyle Williams.